It is Saturday, March 15th, 2025, and you're listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Que4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms, bringing you a show with no budget, no future, no morals, aiming low for success. Hello, everyone.
Was there a show?
We started.
Success!
Yay! It's amateur bruh drinking day, weekend. They dyed the river green. People are drunk in the streets. So happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm wearing purple because I want to get pinched. Mikey Chip, you wearing orange because you want to represent Northern Ireland.
Actually, I just want to say I don't really care normally on any other day except St. Patrick's Day, but God save the king.
God save the king. Okay.
That's my thoughts on St. Patrick's Day.
Now, it's been a unique week. Mikey, you had your birthday.
Yeah.
And my card was had an incorrect file purchase on it. I did get reimbursed on, but it caused my credit card to not be used. And so we were broke on your birthday.
Yeah.
I had nothing to give you but love, and you didn't even want that love. You played on your computer as I watched a really trashy movie called Baghead.
I was in a bad mood. There was just no way I was coming out of that.
You were never coming out of that bad mood.
Just needed my alone time.
No. Are you in a good mood today?
Well, yeah.
And what's got you in a good mood today?
It's not cold.
It's not cold right now, but it's...
Well, we'll be later, but we'll be at home.
That's true, unless we...
I turned 48. We'll be at home.
I forget you're older than me.
You're not. You're not. Don't even...
I know where you sleep, and you a heavy sleeper.
Except for when you come in the room, I have scared you and my mom once. Walked in the room when you thought I was completely asleep, and then just started screaming at the top of my lungs.
Now, when I scream at the top of my lungs, you don't know if I'm having an issue or is it just another night terror?
I just assume it's a night terror at this point.
I know I started singing the Savage Garden. I knew I loved you before I met you. I felt I dreamed you into life. It's like, Thomas, you have night terrors. I don't know if I want to be part of them dreams.
I mean, you had a dream where you ended up actually throwing your water cup against the wall. So
yeah, remembering how that dream was, I think I was trying to do something with my hands, but because I was probably just twitching then in my sleep, which you don't like that, and then I kick,
and that is why our house, even though we've cleaned it up, there's still glitter.
There's still glitter.
We're going to be finding glitter until we leave that home.
Yes. Now we're also joined today by a new guest, all the way from sexy Waukegan. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now you are wearing green,
yeah.
so I won't pinch you. But
I'm greened up.
Yeah. Hat says Hurricane Chris. We've got Chris Chagoya.
Shigoya, yeah.
And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me, man. This is awesome.
Now, are you partaking in the St. Patrick's Day libations and?
Yeah, you guys gave me my first drink of the day, to be honest. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I was gonna bring one, but then I didn't want to be unprofessional and come to the radio station with booze, and then
There's one thing to have
Chris,
one or two on the air, and then the other is to be completely blotto on the air. There's a very big distinction on that.
Right.
We think one of our guests was doing heroin in the John.
Oh, okay. So on the level of things to bring, that's very light then.
No. Yeah, we're fine with that.
A White Claw is okay to bring next time. I'll remember.
Yeah, release her in the white woman.
The story about us telling you about the person who accidentally set off the alarm. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that they were running around with a lot of marching powder.
Yeah,
which is why they were running around a lot.
And then the one guest who, we're doing the apologies, and we look up and suddenly he's gone, and then we see him walking the street kitty corner, just walking into traffic. And the friend we were with was oh, he must have gotten drunk real fast. I'm like, that was not a drunk walk. That was something else. Now, Chris Chagoya, you do stand-up comedy. What shows do you have coming up? How can people find you?
So I have a few things coming up. I have April 4th. Me and 4 other comedians from Chicago are taking a comedic road trip down to Nashville.
Oh, nice.
To sign up for Kill Tony and to check out the comedy scene out there, of course. Sorry, I should have gotten closer. To, check out the comedy scene. And
what is Kill Tony?
Oh, Kill Tony? It's a open mic podcast. It's one of those. It's like one of the biggest open mic platforms. I feel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's coming out of Austin, but they're doing arena tours right now, and so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty cool thing to do that. But hopefully, I get called up. That would be amazing. And if it doesn't, then hopefully I can get drunk in Nashville and have a cool story to come back with.
Now, is this your first time ever being in Nashville?
Yes.
Oh.
I gotta try some. What are some things I would have to try? Is that whiskey in Tennessee?
Well, I mean, Maker's Mark is Tennessee whiskey.
Maker's Mark?
Yeah. I've only
it's right next to the bourbon part of Kentucky, so they kind of blend together.
I've been to Memphis a few times. I only went to Nashville once. I was hoping to see a friend, but it didn't happen. And then there was like torrential rains, hurricane, so tornado. So that's why he didn't.
Hurricane Chris is coming to Nashville.
There we go. Yes, you got the hats.
And then April 19th, I will be at the PML Theater in Antioch. I'm doing a feature performance for Leon Rogers. He's from WGCI.
Oh, very cool.
And then in May, I'll be on the judge panel for Throw Down the Gauntlet at O'Donnell's.
Ooh, now what is Throw Down the Gauntlet? Is your judging, is it comedian against comedian? Is it a spoken roast? Or?
It's a competition open mic ran by Amy Simon.
And yeah, she's been a guest. I've performed there, yes.
Yeah, she's awesome. Love her. Shout out to Amy Simon.
Hi, Amy. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'll be on the judge panel from there, and it's usually, I think the list is capped at 25 comics, 4 minutes, three or 4 minute sets. I can't remember the exact time, but it's a really fun competition. So they every week, if there's 4 weeks, sometimes there's a 5th week, but
yeah,
the first 3 weeks are the pre-qualifiers, and then the 4th week is the final competition. So all the people that qualified in those 3 weeks come back on the 4th, and the winner out of that one is judged by the audience.
Oh, nice.
And so the winner gets a trophy, which is really, really dope looking trophy. They get $50, and they get a featured spot for the Vixen in McHenry.
Oh, very cool. I think former guest Patty Vaccarella, she ended up in one of those competitions, and unfortunately I didn't get to make the show. But that's a great thing that Amy Simon's doing, and it's the few times I performed there, it's been a fun room.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's really fun. It'll be my first time judging there, so I'm really excited to do that.
Now, do you have any websites, any social media presence? How can people find you?
The best one to follow me on is Instagram. I'm the Torta Poppy on Instagram.
Torta Poppy.
Yeah. And Hurricane Chris Comedy on TikTok, Hurricane Chris Comedy on YouTube, and Christopher Shugoya on Facebook.
Very cool. Now, I know you're a hurricane, but a tornado apparently passed through Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi yesterday. So we hope everyone's okay. And remember, we've taken away all the national disaster relief. So those states are on their own.
All the states are on
the states are on their own now. Not to be confused with the measles outbreak still in Texas. Claiming children. If only there was a way to stop it.
There was actually a kid in Michigan who from that same outbreak, so it's closer.
Oh, speaking of Michigan, last night I was at an open mic, Power Hour.
Oh, yeah.
And the audience there, it was just like a large group of people coming from Detroit.
Yeah.
That happens. I've taken the Wolverine, the Amtrak train, and on Friday night, the people getting on in Detroit and Dearborn, it's like, oh yay, yay, and then about 2 hours later, it's like, we have 3 more hours of this, don't we? We have 4 more hours, and then get to Chicago and they're here to party. I mean, it is St. Patrick's Day weekend. They dyed the River Green. It's a big party thing. Now, does Detroit have a St. Patrick's Day parade or
no?
Okay.
No.
But I was creeped out walking into the Power Hour, like where the location was. I could only imagine them coming from Detroit, though. Like, not even, guys, where are we going?
Well, it depends on where in Detroit they're from, because there's Detroit and then there's
one did look
Troy.
like he was from the reboot 8 Mile, like, you know.
Because Troy would be Naperville here.
So where's the Power Hour at? What location is that? Or
it was 11 minutes from O'Donnell's. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad neighborhood, is it? Or
no, it wasn't a sketchy neighborhood at all. No, it's a great location. I'm just saying, like, you walked in and then you have to like find the basement.
Oh yeah, you're not used to that stuff in Detroit. There's not as much.
Yeah, Detroit has some really nice areas, and then there's some areas where, like here in Chicago, sometimes you see someone blindly walking on their playing on their phone into traffic, and like people stop. In Detroit, those people are called mugged.
Or run over because get out the damn street.
Yeah, there's certain parts of Detroit, Highland Park. Highland Park in the Detroit area is very different from Highland Park.
Highland Park is not Detroit. It is a separate
It's its own separate municipality, but there's certain points that when Mike tried to trust a GPS and learned not to, that there were certain areas in that where he was like, okay, we're at the stoplight, but I don't see any traffic. Let me know if anyone's walking up to the car. And there was like, there is one person on the sidewalk, but they pretty far away. And he's like, okay, we good. Like, because people will walk up to your car. It's
yeah, the Google Maps directions in Detroit are sometimes like, why are you taking me down the street? Why I don't need to go down the street. We good. We're gonna go the long way. I don't need to go down that street.
Yeah, one time I was driving down the road. I forgot what street it was. It was a long time ago, but I was driving with my friend, and there was just a dude laying down, like horizontally on the ground. And I was like, nope, we're backing up. Like, we're going backwards on this street.
Yep.
You just got to make the right decision sometimes. Yeah.
I ain't see nothing. I was just driving.
So Mikey, you actually were in Detroit last week, and I wasn't feeling well, and you got to see your mama, and you went out for your birthday, and she took you to Red Olive.
Yeah.
And you had good food.
And I also learned I like my electric car, but it is not meant for the highway. It gets electric cars are the opposite of gas cars. They get lower highway mileage than city mileage. So if you're looking for electric, just keep that in mind. There's charging infrastructure, but still, like, you get fewer miles on the highway.
Because your 5-hour drive took about 7 hours?
Yeah, 7.5.
So pack a book and be prepared. You'll have to
bring snacks.
Because
this is one stop in New Buffalo that you're at a cement factory.
Oh.
There's a porta potty and a garbage can, but that's it.
And you said there was a possibly authentic Mexican restaurant?
I looked at the menu, and I think we just need to go in and order in Spanish, and then they'll get us more authentic food. Because I looked at the menu, I'm like, oh yeah, this is...
No tortas on the menu?
No. This is the white part of Michigan getting Mexican food. So it's like, because it was next to the Dollar General and a cement factory.
See, I was kind of surprised that Chris Chagoya said that it's a nice trophy, because I one time became like princess at a Guess a Song place, and they had bought me like that dollar princess tiara from from the Dollar Tree. And I was like, I thought about keeping it, but then I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
We're good.
It's $5.50.
It came from the heart.
It came from the Dollar Tree.
It's the thought that counts, is what I was told.
There wasn't much thought to it. Oh, gee, I'm bitter. So I was in a weird music mood on Sunday, and we're kind of just going to be living that for most of the show. We're going back to 2014, one of the CDs I purchased at Louisiana Music Factory in New Orleans. Love that place. And it's Marsha Ball with The Tattooed Lady and the Alligator Man.
Lady and the alligator man living in the trailer in the promised land. In the summertime, they hit the road. They're the main attraction in a traveling show, playing every carnival across the land. The tattooed lady and the alligator man, she dances the hoochie coochie cuckoo, and he crawls on his belly like a crocodile do. And for a grand finale, they climb 2 by 2 to a spot way up in the sky. And when the spotlight hits them, they fly. And when they land, the crowd goes wild and they clap their hands for the tattooed lady and the alligator man. She always knew what she wanted to do. When she was just 18, she got her first tattoo. It was a little green gator with a smiling face. She put that critter in a private place. She said, don't you know that's just a start? She turned herself into a work of art. Midway sideshow, hot as blazes, and one stand out in 1,000 faces. There was something about him she recognized. He was rough around the edges, a familiar smile. She said, I know him and he knows me. I feel the pull of my destiny. Now she dances the hoochie coochie cuckoo, and he crawls on his belly like a crocodile do. And for a grand finale, they climb 2 by 2 to a spot way up in the sky. And when the spotlight hits them, they fly. And when they land, the crowd goes wild and they clap their hands for the tattooed lady and the alligator man. When the leaves start falling, they're headed for home. Sit beside the river, let the cool breeze blow. The kids are swinging way up in the trees like they were born on a flying trapeze. There's a boy and a girl, a set of twins. One looks like her and the other like him. And she dances the hoochie coochie cuckoo, and he crawls on his belly like a crocodile do. And for a grand finale, they climb 2 by 2 to a spot way up in the sky. And when the spotlight hits them, they fly. And when they land, the crowd goes wild and they clap their hands for the tattooed lady and the alligator man. Yeah, the tattooed lady and the alligator man.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
And that was The Tattooed Lady and the Alligator Man by Marsha Ball off the album released in 2014 of the same name. Great piano work right there. This thing was rocking. I'm having fun. She got her first tattoo, put it in a naughty place. Then she met her man, the alligator man, and he'd roll on his belly like an alligator do, and she dance the hoochie coo, and they're happily married, and they have kids, and I failed at life.
No.
And I'm going to go ahead and give this one a yay. I won't lie, I was a little bit more dismissive of Marsha I'm sorry, Marsha Baldwin, I Should Have Been, that she was kind of like rock, soul, jazz, New Orleans, gone soccer mom, but not Karen. Marsha Ball, she's about 64 years old when she's doing this song. That's why she sounds like that. She started in music in 1970 and has been consistently in bands and just around the outskirts of fame. And basically learning her story and her talent was one of those like, oh, I might need to check out more of her stuff. And so I'm going to give it a yay. This was also on Alligator Records, which I believe is a Chicago-based Alligator Records and Art Management. It's here in Chicago, alligator.com. So she signed to a Chicago label. This is yay. I don't think I'd want to listen to this all the time, but for Sunday I like to sometimes have blues. I hadn't listened to this CD in a while. I put it on, and I have to say I enjoyed it. And again, great piano work. She comes from a musician background. Her mother and grandmother were both pianists, and so she started kindergarten, then she started piano lessons. So I liked it. Yay. Mikey Chip, yay, nay, meh.
I'm gonna give it a weak yay. I enjoyed the song, but I know more than one or two times in a month I'd probably get annoyed. Because at some point the Marsha from Accounting voice will just come out and like, because it really does sound like Marsha from Accounting like got bought some music, like she'd been having a musical career dream. She got some music and started writing, and she made an album. That was actually good, but it's still Marsha from Accounting who made the album. So yay, but
it's a yay minus.
Yeah,
it's a weak
Yay
yay.
minus.
Now Chris Shagoya, yay, nay, meh.
Yeah, hey man, you can feel free to call me Hurricane Chris.
Oh, Hurricane Chris. Okay.
That's the reason why I go by Hurricane Chris, is because no one can really say Shagoya. It doesn't just roll off the tongue. No, that's a strong yay over here on this side of the table.
I saw you rocking out a little bit.
My people that were watching told me I don't have any rhythm. They're dead wrong. There's so much jiggle in this wiggle, you know? No, that's a strong yay for me. That was like this lady, and to know that she was doing this since like 74, she like took Dolly Parton for a run, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, is this Marshall, or Dolly Parton? Who is this? But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm always a fool for like a cool jazz piano, you know what I'm saying? Like that country jazz, like whatever she was playing, that piano solo.
Yeah, it's more New Orleans ragtime kind of.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like, and you're right. I can't listen to that song all the time. But once in a while, when it pops up on like Pandora,
you'll enjoy it.
I'll definitely enjoy that.
It.
Yeah, I enjoyed it when Thomas played it this week. 3 years ago, when I heard it 3 times in a month, it was like, okay, we can turn this off now.
She says, "Hoochie comes." Like, turn it off. Turn it off, you. So, it was a crazy week. We did have 2 other guests. One caught COVID. We think the other one's just hungover, but he says he's also sick. So be careful.
He got the bottle flu.
I think that stuff's all out there. Yeah, his text was a little bit word salad of, oh, woke up, forgot, still can't. Like,
it was the Irish green beer flu.
Yeah. Well, we have the same birthday, so we had a Wednesday birthday, so I had my wine yesterday, but I had to work this morning, so I didn't really do a whole lot.
I was a little hungover watching cooking shows and drinking too much vodka. So it's my little black dress, goes with everything.
Nice.
They're like vodka and prune juice. It's like, yeah, it's a Trotsky. I'll be a hit in the nursing home. So oh God.
So I was like wondering about all these clips that you guys put on the YouTube.
Yes.
For the videos. So like those are long road trips, I'm assuming that.
Yeah, we used to, we still plan to do it. Money's a little bit tight, but we take long road trips around the United States. We have a little dashboard camera, and so we just film the scenery as we drive, and we've caught some really cool stuff, and then we've caught some not so cool stuff. One time I went to my old neighborhood in Indianapolis and I accidentally filmed like a drug deal.
On the trip to Idaho, a roadrunner actually ran across the road and I swerved. And you don't hear the audio because I put the audio is changed, but I am screaming.
I've driven from here to the furthest I've driven to is Tucson. And back.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and back.
That's a good distance.
Yeah, I originally drove from here to Vegas for my aunt's wedding, and I was just like, man, that was nuts.
Yeah, the longest we've done is in one trip was Chicago to West Palm Beach, and we did that over a day, like day and a half.
Yeah,
we actually went to our friends in Decatur, Illinois, to start 3 hours south later the next day.
And you already did the New Orleans to Chicago trip. And
that in
was
one
16
day.
hours.
In one day.
That was pretty brutal. I hate to admit, I've reached the age where it's like 8 hours is fine to drive, and then I'm ready for a rest. Like, don't burn yourself out. But yeah, as a kid, I took a lot of road trips, and I still kind of enjoy them. And then Mikey's a radio Nazi, and then we get into the big fight. And then we at a gas station, I get out going, "You ain't gonna sell me. I ain't gonna hit that." Okay. I haven't done that yet. But speaking about screaming, an airplane caught fire on the Denver tarmac.
Well, I missed that one.
178 people had to escape on the wing. Blessedly, like no one was killed. But I think there was another like recent airplane issue. Also, there's a lot of airplane issues, or are they just making the news?
Surprisingly, none Spirit. You know, like the one that's held together with duct tape is the one that's not crashing. Surprisingly.
Well, actually, in bigger airline news, Southwest is getting rid of free bags.
Yeah.
And open seating policy. Basically, all the reasons you fly Southwest, they're making them go away. So they're just a crappier regular airline now.
Oh.
So it's like, okay, so I'll just pay more and be on United and be able to move into first class possibly.
Right. Business at least.
Yeah, like I don't like Southwest anyway, and it's like, well, you just made me I'm never going to fly you.
Well, unless you're charging $25 tickets. Like.
I am at the point in my life where I know what I'm paying for, so it's like if I'm paying that little for a flight, what is missing? What is not going to be there?
All those hidden fees, crazy.
I have flown Spirit Airlines, but I have to say you kind of have to view it like taking a subway train. It's like, how long do you want to be cooped up? And I'm like, if it's a 90-minute flight, okay, you can suffer through. 5 hours on that, like hell no. you will want to die.
It's like this is the Greyhound of the airways, you know?
Yeah.
Apparently, though, they're trying to upgrade themselves. I don't know how.
I guess they have the Spirit.
I guess they're trying to make the big front seats like an actual first class.
They're upgrading the glue on the duct tape.
Yeah. They're putting crazy glue on.
Now, Elon Musk lost another rocket. SpaceX, another one crashed again.
And he wants to run the FAA. He wants to replace all the people with AI so nothing crashes.
I mean, it is rocket science, like
It is technically rocket science.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard.
But he's also especially dumb. And proven himself especially dumb.
Like a lot of those things, like AI can help, but you do.
No.
I don't think ChatGPT can.
No. We're not even going to get into that. We're going to get into so your business is liberal people who buy electric cars. So you just pissed all of them off and killed your entire customer base who will never buy your car again, and trying to go to conservatives who don't want an electric car.
On the way here, I saw a Tesla with Elon Musk's Ghostbusters slash, like his name and then like the do not enter like slash,
I saw another one recently. It said, I bought, with a bumper sticker, I bought this before I knew he was an asshole.
Oh, God.
But it's 5:30.
All right. It's 5:30. We're going to continue talking about Mr. Musk after this song. I think this one was pretty obvious why I picked it. Back in 1976, Johnny Cash released One Piece at a Time, got to Billboard number 29 and country number 1. Here we go, Johnny Cash, One Piece at a Time.
Well, I left Kentucky back in 49 and went to Detroit working on assembly line. The first year they had me putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I'd watch them beauties roll by, and sometimes I'd hang my head and cry, 'cause I always wanted me one that was long and black. One day I devised myself a plan that should be the envy of most any man. I'd sneak it out of there in a lunchbox in my hand. Now getting caught meant getting fired, but I figured I'd have it all by the time I retired. I'd have me a car worth at least $100,000. I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, I'm gonna drive everybody wild, 'cause I'll have the only one there is around. So the very next day when I punched in with my big lunchbox and with help from my friend, I left that day with a lunchbox full of gears. I've never considered myself a thief, but GM wouldn't miss just one little piece, especially if I strung it out over several years. The first day I got me a fuel pump, and the next day I got me an engine and a trunk. Then I got me a transmission and all the chrome. The little things I could get in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all 4 shocks, but the big stuff we snuck out my buddy's mobile home. Now up to now my plan went all right till we tried to put it all together one night, and that's when we noticed that something was definitely wrong. The transmission was a 53 and the motor turned out to be a 73, and when we tried to put in the bolts, all the holes were gone. So we drilled it out so that it would fit, and with a little bit of help from an adapter kit, we had that engine running just like a song. Now the headlights, there was another sight. We had 2 on the left and 1 on the right, but when we pulled out the switch, all 3 of them come on. The back end looked kind of funny too, but we put it together, and when we got through, well, that's when we noticed that we only had 1 tail fin. About that time, my wife walked out, and I could see in her eyes that she had her doubts, but she opened the door and said, "Honey, take me for a spin." So we drove uptown just to get the tags, and I headed to ride on down Main Drag. I could hear everybody laughing for blocks around. But up there at the courthouse, they didn't laugh, 'cause to type it up, it took the whole staff, and when they got through, the title weighed 60 pounds. I got it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town. I'm gonna ride around in style, I'm gonna drive everybody wild, 'cause I'll have the only one there is around. Yeah, Red Rider, this is the Cottonmouth in the Psycho Billy Cadillac, come on. This is the Cottonmouth, and negatory on the cost of this machine there, Red Rider. You might say I went right up to the factory and picked it up. It's cheaper that way. What model is it? Well, it's 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 automobile. It's a 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
And that is the man in black himself. We've got Johnny Cash, 1976, his last charting song on Billboard. Got to Billboard number 29, One Piece at a Time, number 1 on country. I noticed he left the South and went to work in Detroit, and then the whole song's about him stealing from the job to make his own Cadillac, and then it doesn't work out really well. But you have to laugh at it. It's got one piece at a time, and his wife supports him. She's like, "Oh, take me for a ride, honey," and everyone just
In
laughs.
the broke car.
And it's
I'm just going to add. So when you drive down Telegraph,
Yeah.
on the other side of 94, that's Taylor. All of where I'm from, the joke is they call that Taylor Tucky.
Taylor Tucky.
Because
Kentucky.
a lot of people, there are a lot of people who moved up from Tennessee and Kentucky into Detroit, and then this story is actually, well, the first part of the story is true. The rest is just fun, but.
Now is Johnny Cash is it Arkansas or is it Tennessee, Mississippi?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
I think it's Tennessee, right?
I'd have to look.
I'd have to look.
But for me, this is a huge yay. Mikey Chip, yay, nay, meh.
No, I enjoy the song. It's old lady country, except it's old man country, and so it would be the country that I like. If it's pre-1979 country, I will probably like it. If it's after 1979, Dolly Parton.
Johnny Cash was born in Kingsland, Arkansas in 1932.
Okay.
So, but he did pass away in Nashville, and I think Kingsland, there's a section where Missouri, like the Memphis area, you can live in Missouri or Arkansas and still go work in Memphis, Tennessee. Like
Gotcha,
you're all in that kind of area there. So yay for Mikey. Hurricane Chris, yay, nay, meh.
I was gonna say, man, don't tell me Walk the Line was wrong. I live my life by these biopics. To tell me the facts, that's a huge yay. I love Johnny Cash. I have I'm an old soul, so I've grown up on a lot of these songs that you've been playing, and Johnny Cash is definitely one of the people that I've listened to my whole life. So definitely
Very cool.
The thing I say about Johnny Cash can sing a 9 Inch Nail song and make me cry.
yes, because you felt it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Johnny Cash was, and that's why this song is so dope, because he was a man of the people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was made for the guy at work just stealing the supplies and the extra toilet paper.
Making a
or something.
1950 to 1975 Cadillac.
Yeah, like, this is for the guy that's stealing from work, but and getting away with it until he's not getting away with it.
He did that. He also performed at the Folsom prison. He wanted to recognize a lot of the prisoners there. Walk the Line was dedicated to his June Carter Cash. That he is a handsome. He was definitely a handsome man. So a lot of women would throw themselves at him, but he was respectful to her and stayed that way. And oddly enough, when they first met, she was married. And she wrote the song Ring of Fire, which she felt because she was so attracted to Johnny Cash that she was going to go to hell and burn in the ring of fire because she was very religious. Lots of women, especially back then, didn't step out on their husbands.
Right. But
But when he met her, he's like, you're going to marry me one day. and Ring of Fire was something she struggled with, and sure enough, she divorced her husband, married Johnny Cash. They were happy together for decades, and when she passed away, he passed away like 3 to 6 months later.
man.
And whenever you see photos of them together, they're just happy. They just love each other so much.
My grandma was a huge fan of Johnny Cash. And she was probably one of those females throwing her panties at him on stage, like, let's keep it real. Like, history repeats itself in certain ways, If they're doing it now, they're definitely doing it back then. Let's just be real. Bras and panties end up on stage. If you've been to a concert, you can't deny this.
I remember way back when, probably before your time, I was watching the Arsenio Hall show, and they had Tom Jones on it. And he was the one that had the controversy that some woman threw her panties on stage, and he was sweating, so he picked it up and wiped his brow with it, his forehead with it. And they're like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "You just went with it." And Arsenio also asked, what happened that people were like, "Oh, he's so hot, gotta take off my panties and toss him." And with a friend of mine, she was a year older than me, so at her graduation, I was like, "You should do a prank. You should do a stunt." And so when they hand you your diploma, you just hand them your panties, and these are for you. But she wouldn't do it. She was too shy. Actually, that graduation, the only exciting thing happened is one of the kids who hated it there is after he got his diploma, he straight up did a backflip, and then continued walking. Like that was a really boring ceremony. I have to learn not to go to graduations again.
It's your first time on a huge stage, as like for most kids, you know?
That's true.
All I did was a dopey wave like to the crowd, and that's it. I didn't do nothing like a backflip. That'd been crazy.
Like I think I remember my parents and family clapping, but like college graduation was a large affair, so like I don't know where they sat, and it wasn't really close to me.
I was one of those bad kids. I got expelled twice, so I graduated from a school that as soon as you did all your work, you were taken to a room, put into a cap and gown, and then they took your photo and you graduated.
Wow. No, I ended up being a super senior.
Oh.
I did 4.5 years of high school.
4.5 years.
Yeah, but I was also in like they ended up putting me in like remedial classes by the end of it, you know, like, and I didn't know remedial was like special ed until like another student in the class told us. They were like, "You guys know this is for the slow kids, right?" Like, I was like,
"You were too slow to know you were."
I was like, "Oh, no wonder I'm doing so good in this math class." Like,
I was in some of those when I was really young because I was deaf as a child, and so I couldn't hear, and I didn't learn to speak until I was like 4, 5, 6, and I still had a speech impediment. So
that's the thing. Like,
I started in the accelerated classes.
I just wasn't being taught the way I needed to be taught in my high school.
We're all different learners,
right? And I grew up in the '90s. Like, I was born in 1990, so like. Back then, it was you were just retarded. I'm sorry. Oh. And so, like, we didn't have words to describe what's wrong with our head or our learning styles or anything like that. I didn't even know I needed glasses.
I'm from the I was born in the late 70s. You don't even want to know what the 80s were like.
The term was LD, learning disability.
Yeah, learning disability. So,
or we called it short bus. You were on the short bus.
Like, I just got glasses, you know what I'm saying? Like 3 years ago. From being told, like, "Oh, you don't need glasses, boy." You know, like growing up and stuff. Like, you better just pay attention in school type of thing. There was no real learning structure back when I was younger. Now kids, like, everything is just completely different and it's better, and I'm happy for that. But
that's the hope. But I keep hearing things like school lunches and did you experience any of that? Because we're a little bit too old for that, but like kids are going to school and if you can't afford lunch, like you don't eat or
I didn't experience that.
Those are
free lunch
white
program?
School districts.
Yeah,
those are white school districts where they
reduce lunch, free lunch.
Because even in I went to Catholic school and like there was a free lunch if you didn't have a lunch.
Oh yeah, they gotta feed them kids.
There was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a chocolate milk, but you got something.
My school, like the lunch was either 90 cents or 85 cents. In high school, it became a little bit different. Like I think the lunch was $1, or if you got extra stuff, it was something else.
In high school, lunch was $1.40.
And
yeah, good times.
For junior high and high school, you kind of had free reign, so you didn't have to eat lunch, and I didn't eat lunch because I couldn't afford it. But like in elementary school, if you were extra poor, like you had a little ticket program or like there was something they didn't let kids starve, but I guess they're cutting school lunches.
In Chicago, they had the super donuts.
I say all this super senior stuff to say that we got all released into the world with you guys. You know, like they didn't do anything. We didn't go into special programs growing up, guys. We're your coworkers. We live amongst you. We're in your grocery stores.
It's 5:45.
Okay. So we're going back to fairly recent, actually. This is 2023. I believe she's Canadian. It's Goldie Boutier, and it's her song "Pretending."
Tell me you don't love me, it won't cost a thing. I'm not the kind of girl you buy a diamond ring. So why don't we just start with the ending? I think nobody cares, you're just pretending. Run to the river, but it outrun you. Yeah, asking me to pray, who am I praying to? I search my soul, but it's never ending. I think nobody cares, you're just pretending.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
And that was Pretending by Goldie Boutier. Boutier. From 2023 off her last album. I should have probably looked her up a little bit more than I did. Sorry. I have to say this song has a 80s rock, early 80s rock vibe, like Stevie Nicks, Quarter Flash. I'm getting from them. I'm a kind of girl you don't buy a ring. Sometimes a lie is worth telling to keep the world moving. I think she's dealing with themes of isolation and loss. I think nobody cares. They're just pretending, which is a profound statement. I kind of wish there was more built around said statement to maybe prove that. And it's borderline self-pity, but I will say just the performance and the production keeps it from feeling that way. And then at the end, she's like, I think nobody cares. I'm like, someone needs to sample that for a dance riff. That was actually pretty cool. So I'm giving it a yay, and I might need to check out more of her music. Mikey, don't pretend.
I enjoyed it, but I will say the song could be about a minute and a half shorter. Like it feels like she could have tightened up a little bit, a few spots there. There was that like 45-second long bridge that just cool, but it just kind of meandered and didn't need to be there. But I enjoyed the song. I would say I would like to listen to more of this. Hopefully she's not a one-song wonder.
We've had that sometimes, so... all right. Hurricane Chris. Yay, nay, meh.
Yeah, it's going to be a yay for me. Yay. And I know I've been saying yay to all these songs, but, I mean, you've been playing some really heavy hitters. I like it. So I looked up this song at first, and because you're like, oh, you did your homework. I thought it was going to be a cover song of my favorite Finnish rock band, Him. They have a song called Pretending.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so I thought that was going to be a cover because I noticed like how you were playing like these other tracks that I haven't like checked out before. So I was like, oh, maybe, this is going to be, I was like, I'm definitely down to listen to this. But then like I really liked what I found instead. It was amazing. So it was just like going in for one experience, but then getting a whole totally different one that was really that I vibed with. And I was in the studio right now just vibing as well to this, especially that drum, like when that drum solo came up and stuff. Oh my God, that was so good.
We're probably the one show where Finnish music is not out of the realm of the possible of happening on this show. So.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so this kind of makes sense if this is like the cover to that song Pretending by Him. And I was like,
oh,
okay.
H-I-M.
Yeah, Him. Yep, H-I-M. The heartogram and everything, like Bam Margera's heartogram and stuff.
All right, because, whenever I was at Hot Topic, I would always see these albums and posters for H.I.M. Him. And I'm like, is the music any good? And I was going to buy it on a whim, but for some reason I never did. Because sometimes I buy the goth or the harder metal, and I just don't listen to that. All right, here we go. So we played one piece at a time because apparently Trump was selling Teslas on the White House lawn.
What?
Because
is that true?
Yeah, well, he wasn't officially selling them, but he was selling Teslas. It was kind of like
he was trying to help a friend out.
It's actually when Tesla stock dropped as fast as it did. That's when he did this. And suddenly the Tesla stock isn't dropping as fast. It's still not going up. Because I don't know the exact number. It's like $200-something when Tesla stock goes below 200-something. I don't know the exact number. The banks can make a margin call on all of the loans he put out for Twitter.
Mm.
And can call in the loan immediately.
Oh, wow.
Which would make him sell all of his Tesla stock, but him selling all of that stock would then make the price of the stock drop drastically because he has a lot of stock. So this is why we all need to go protest in front of Tesla dealerships because Elon Musk is the financier of the Republican Party right now. If you destroy his money, you destroy their money.
Mm.
So,
but Trump's gonna make protests on campuses. They need to be arrested.
As Glenn Close said in Deliverance lately, do it, bitch. If you're gonna do it, then do it. You gonna shoot people, then do it.
Well, I mean, I can't be late to my 2:30 remedial class in college, so I mean,
there actually is a one of the protesters. Trump wants to deport because while he's married to a pregnant U.S. citizen.
Actually, news just came in while you were while that song was playing. There's a temporary restraining order, and he's required to be brought back to America right now.
Oh wow!
The judge there was somebody else who was taken out, and the judge just ordered the flight to land.
Oh.
So I
We'll
literally
happens.
breaking as in the moment.
Because when Trump was peddling those Teslas on the White House lawn, he was then like, "You're boycotting Tesla, and boycotts are illegal." I'm like, "No, they're not. Like,
Do
you
it,
cannot
bitch.
make people buy things they don't want to buy."
exactly.
If he wants to threaten,
No, yeah, exactly.
if he wants to threaten to shoot people, go ahead and do it. Make the army do it because they're not going to do it.
First of all, I don't have the credit to buy a Tesla, so
And they're ugly.
They're the worst made cars.
Unless
have
Cricket
you-
starts making Teslas, I don't think I'll be able to afford one.
For $50,000. You're getting a car that you can literally peel apart yourself. Why are you about?
I'm sorry. When my cousin, when the Tesla robots were a thing, my cousin came up to me. He was like, "Hey, CJ, are you gonna buy one of those robots?" I was like, "Bro, I'm gonna miss my first payment. It's just gonna walk out of my house."
That'd be cool to program the cars. Like, you don't pay, we just drive ourselves.
Actually,
back.
no, they do that. They really do that. With Teslas.
Oh gosh. Well, wasn't he bragging one time like, "Oh yeah, this window's unbreakable," and someone just hit it with a brick and it instantly broke? Was that another car?
That was a different car.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the problem with that. If your Cybertruck is on fire and you are trapped in there and the windows are unbreakable, how's a fire department gonna rescue you?
Oh, true.
Oh.
And Cybertrucks catch fire a lot. We've seen how many fires. They're one of the worst made cars in existence. They're $112,000. And my car is still going to be worth more than that thing in 5 years.
Oh goodness! And you mentioned the stock market. Apparently, the stock market dropped, and then Trump's like, "Well, the stock market doesn't matter."
My behind. They're
People are losing their 401ks, cutting Social Security, Medicare.
Buy Walmart stock, yo. That great value is about to fly off the shelf.
Let a bunch of old folks' Social Security checks not show up.
Yeah.
They're retired. They're retired. They have the time. And again, is the Army going to shoot a phalanx of 75-year-old white women who are trying to get their Social Security checks?
Some of them, married to veterans, stands down, soldier. They'll pull rank on them too.
Yeah. So and first of all, the military's not going to do it. Of a lot of things that they might do, they are not doing that.
This has happened in the past where, and I believe in Ohio, Kent State, in the early 70s, a protest for the Vietnam War, the military did open fire.
The National Guard, the Ohio National Guard. It wasn't the military. And
that ended badly.
Yeah. And it, yeah. So.
Young white woman dead. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Several white women dead.
Hurricane Chris was wrong on that, I expect.
That became a big thing. Don't shoot at protesters. But it's 6 o'clock. Are we ready?
You'll be back.
Not quite. Talk for a quick second.
So I forgot to give you one of my flyers, Hurricane Chris. So here's my comedy information and radio show information.
Yeah.
And Que4 Radio is always looking for new producers and other people. So I definitely like to give you some information on that if you'd ever want to start your own show here. And it's 6 o'clock.
Heck yeah.
I just can't decide if you shall have or not my flat. You just want to live right here without me and my cat. But I'm born to raise hell. Yes, I'm born to raise hell. You just want to drive my car far away from here. Leave me out there with my cat, drive home and have a beer. But I'm born to raise hell. Yes, I'm born to raise hell. I just can't decide if you shall have or not my flat. You just want to live right here without me and my cat. But I'm born to raise hell. You just want to drive my car far away from here. Leave me out there with my cat, drive home and have a beer. But I'm born to raise hell. Yes, I'm born to raise hell.
It is Saturday, March 15th, 2025, and you are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel on Que4 Radio, AM 1680, Que4.org. I am your host, Thomas Bottoms, bringing you a show with no budget, no future, no morals, aiming low for success. Hello, everyone.
Was there a show?
We're halfway there.
Success!
Oh, yeah.
It is Chicago Drink Green Beer Straight People Amateur Weekend. They dyed the river today. It always looks green. It looks a little bit brighter green. Last time I was there at the river dyeing, people were passing out yogurt. I didn't know how to respond to that. And then I also was like, it's kind of warm today. I don't know if this dairy product will make it home safely in the 40-minute train ride, if not longer.
Dairy products and alcohol.
Oh, that's a good gurgling in your stomach. Yeah. It's ooh, yeah. So we are going to be doing our radio show for the next couple of weeks. Next time we are out of town will be April 19th. So you can also tune in next week. Check us out. We do have a website, Bottoms with an S, bottomsofthebarrel.com. And if you click here, you'll get to our YouTube page, and you'll get to listen to previous shows and see some beautiful scenery of the United States. Good to listen to and watch at work. We do obey FCC regulations. Or if you're working out on the elliptical, a treadmill, you get to see some beautiful scenery and you think you're running down the highway at 60 miles an hour or faster. Mikey Chip, how are you doing today?
I'm good. They're going at 75.
They're going at 75. Okay.
Unless it's from like Idaho where the speed limit's 80 and I was going over 80.
All right.
That's real nice. Anyhow, I'm good.
You good? Now, you just celebrated a birthday.
Yeah, we're done talking about that. We don't need to talk about my birthday no more.
I didn't spank you. I have paddles at home. I'll make up for lost time.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Why not, Mikey?
I don't want to get spanked. There's dead air.
Why not?
He's looking in.
Okay. We're joined with a new guest. We've got Hurricane Chris, all the way from sexy Waukegan, a wild man from Waukegan.
Yo, hey.
You've got a couple things coming up. Tell us what's going on in your world.
All right. Well, I'm going to Nashville April 4th. Try to get on Kill Tony. April 19th, PML Theater in Antioch. I'll be opening for WGCI's Leon Rogers. In May, I'll be doing Throw Down the Gauntlet. And in October, I forgot to mention this earlier, if you're following the show from the beginning, but in October, I'll be doing a show in Milwaukee.
Oh, nice. I've performed in Milwaukee a couple times, or West Dallas, Wisconsin, which is a suburb. And I'm like, in West Dallas, it's a home of Liberace and Jeffrey Dahmer. People don't know how to handle me because I don't wear sequins and I'm a vegetarian. I'd probably be a lot better if I was a vegetarian.
Though technically, West Dallas is where Jeffrey Dahmer's grandma lived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When he lived with his grandma for 18 months.
I don't think he was paying her rent, so I don't think that counts,
And Jeffrey Dahmer actually would come down to Chicago and do his cruising, and I've since met some men who are like, yeah, he hit on me one time, and one guy was like, yeah, he hit on me and said, hey, come back to my place, and the guy's like, I live in Chicago, I don't have to go to Milwaukee to get D. Like, someone will beg me locally. I don't.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that show on Netflix about
I
him?
did.
Mike did. He told me not to watch it. That will be too disturbing.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is watching that show is that, like, if say, you know, these people born like in, you know, after it's happened in the 2000s, they're learning that as long as you said you're doing gay shit, or as long as you're doing gay stuff, that like you could get away with all cannibalism and killing people, and like the cops were like, oh wait, never mind, we'll leave you guys alone.
There was a lot of that because it was a gay male. Like even the one about the Asian kid who's 15, arguably, I hate to say this, like 15-year-old Asians look young, but they just released the naked kid back.
Well,
and the woman who kept complaining was a black woman, and they kept ignoring her.
Well, it was also a white man who lived in a black neighborhood, and the cops just pretty much took the white guy's side.
I just love the progressiveness of today's age, because if you look at any show from like early 2000, they'll always have like if you smoke marijuana, like you're ruining your life episode. You know, and if you're gay, that's a struggle too. Like, and you know, we don't have that anymore type of TV anymore.
Saved by the Bell with
I'm
Noni
so
Malone.
excited.
She gets
I'm so excited.
I'm so scared. I actually had a girl in high school in front of me, and I knew her, and she had taken like 16 like Vibrant pills, and like she was literally shaking in front of me. They had to call the ambulance, and I'm like, is y'all getting her some help? Like, what you like? Because her body was too energized, but she was having to sit down. Elizabeth Berkley wasn't good in that scene. Oddly enough, it was like a Donna Reed show where her son had a friend who he was class valedictorian, but when he got to college, he wasn't the big thing anymore. Mm-hmm. And so he kept taking caffeine pills to keep going.
Yeah. And
he started having a mental breakdown, and they had to kind of like talk him down and get him help. Wow. And this is all in the early 1960s. It's like not a read in a special episode, and they kind of handled it pretty well, and how it happens, which is, oh, hey, you know, you're going to struggle a little bit, and so he makes sure he doesn't, and then they're like, oh, there is a problem. Unlike, per se, a special episode of Blossom.
Well, actually, as opposed to the reality of where we have someone who is on ketamine and probably amphetamines from how he's been acting, running our government, who is actually having... like his brain is breaking down. I'm realizing that as I'm using social media less than I have been. Like, I'm still kind of bad at it, but I am trying to make an effort to not be on it as much. I'm getting a little bit more can pay attention to slightly things a little bit longer. Like, it's not just like flip. It's like, okay, I can let my mind rest. It's like,
I need to work on that.
Yeah. Everybody, put your phone down. Put your phone down for touch grass. We all need to touch grass. We all really need to touch grass.
But yeah, watching Trump, and sometimes like just watching some like news reports or other things is like, oh, he on stuff. And I hate to say, we've had guests here in the past that's like, he on some stuff, isn't he? Like, it's like,
yeah, man.
That's even talking way back when with a friend, he was like, oh, the friend, he felt he drunk a little bit too much today, and he took a antihistamine, and like the kid was literally drooling at the table in the bar, and I'm like, that doesn't happen. He's on some other stuff. Like, I know what a weed high look like. I know what cocaine, like he on some stuff. So, and I hate to be, I always like sometimes quote the Pam Grier movie Coffee. I see you on the junk again. Like,
anyway, moving on.
Okay, so we're going to do our cover wars. A friend of mine reminded me of this song, and then I remembered I had a really cool cover of the song. So we're going back to 1978. No, you were 76.
I was 77.
77. Okay. It got to number 1 on Billboard. We have "Kiss You All Over" by Exile. That was then covered in 1979 on Millie Jackson's "A Moment's Pleasure." Here we have "Kiss You All Over."
When I get home, babe, gonna light your fire. All day I've been thinking about you, babe, you're my one desire. Gonna wrap my arms around you and hold you close to me. Oh, babe, I wanna taste your lips, I wanna be your fantasy, yeah. I don't know what I'd do without you, babe. I don't know where I'd be. You're not just another lover, no, you're everything to me. Every time I'm with you, baby, I can't believe it's true. When you lay in my arms and you do the things you do, you can see it in my eyes, I can feel it in your touch. You don't have to say a thing, just let me show how much I love you. Need you, yeah. I wanna kiss you all over and over again. I wanna kiss you all over till the night closes in. Till the night closes in. Stay with me, lay with me, holding me, loving me, baby. Here with me, feeling you close to me, baby. So show me everything you do. 'Cause baby, no one does it quite like you. Love you, need you, oh baby. I wanna kiss you all over and over again. I wanna kiss you all over till the night closes in. 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 Till the night closes in.
Come on, you owe me that much. Heck, who knows what the night's gonna bring? You just might like it. In fact, I promise you'll like it. I think you need a refresher course on my love anyway. You must be done forgot how good I am. Let me tell you something. When I get home, babe, I'm gonna light your fire. All day I've been thinking about you, baby, you're my one desire. I'm gonna wrap my arms around you, baby, hold you close to me. Oh, baby, I wanna taste your lips, I wanna feel your fantasy, yeah. I don't know what I'd do without you, baby, don't know where I'd be. You're not just another lover, you're everything to me. Every time I'm with you, baby, I can't believe it's true. When you're laying in my arms and you do the things you do, BS.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
I have to admit, once I start hearing that guitar riff from Millie Jackson's A Moment's Pleasure, there's always a part of me like, can we just sit through this? Can we just have this like good time? But then it's like, oh, we're gonna lose 7 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Whew. I love that song. I have to listen to it on the ride home. So, okay, that was our cover Warriors Exile versus Millie Jackson, 1978, 1979. Exile got to #1 on Billboard. It was #1 for 4 weeks. Their biggest hit here in the U.S. Exile, I do want to go ahead and say this is a classic. It's two male singers singing. There's that growl talk at the beginning, and then the guy starts singing, and then they start harmonizing, and then there's that sci-fi synth, and their voice harmonizes almost to not to the level of Video Killed the Radio Star harmony, but they start harmonizing, and it's a yay. It's fine. With Millie Jackson, I think her voice is a little sped up. She's singing like in a higher key. She's usually an alto, if not a baritone. I'll say, like, if you explore Millie Jackson, there's other songs out there. It's not her best, but I have to say I really love this. I love that it was more guitar and horns and not the sci-fi synths. And I just love Millie Jackson. A Moment's Pleasure is one of her really good albums, late 70s Millie Jackson. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a yay. Actually, they both get a yay, but I'd probably want to listen to the Millie Jackson, and if I was a DJ, I'd probably want to play the Millie Jackson. Mikey Chip, yay, nay, meh, Exile versus Millie Jackson.
Okay, I like them both, but I am going to... I love Millie Jackson normally, but I actually prefer the Exile version.
Oh.
Millie just got a little too 1979 bad disco for me, and like I couldn't get past that. Like that stereotypical disco riff came in. I'm like, oh no, not this. This has been perfect without the disco riff. I don't dislike it. It's just like, and I love disco. It's just like those two. It's just no, not together. But
she's more hard soul blues and not disco.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you were just on a trend on this one, Millie. But the Exile I enjoyed more. I felt a little bit more.
You just liked it.
I just liked it more.
All right. Now Hurricane Chris.
So
yay, nay, meh.
I liked Happy Gilmore's version of it better, if I had to be honest.
I haven't seen that movie. Where he's the golfer, and then Barb Barker beats him up.
Yeah.
And my dad actually had a T-shirt that said "The Price is Wrong," and I think he says the B word. My dad had that T-shirt, and I kicked myself that I didn't take it from the house when I could.
No, yeah, it's in the beginning of the movie. He's trying to like win his girlfriend back, and he's singing it to like the door buzzer, like intercom.
I wanna kiss you.
I wanna kiss you all over and over again. But no, yeah, I like the Exile version better, to be honest. I agree with Mikey Chip. The disco, it was just like sped up a little bit. Yeah, I agree with him.
Now, Millie Jackson, was that a yay, nay, meh? Or
yeah. So the Millie Jackson, it was a meh. I wouldn't say it was a nay, but it was a meh. I would rock with it if it was playing at the club.
I would say she was sped up to like 1.25%. It was just a little bit. It was enough to be noticeable, but it wasn't too bad. But yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Adam Sandler and his singing. I have to, this is embarrassing to admit this, but when he performed at the 50th anniversary and he's playing the guitar and then he starts like calling out to all the castmates that had since passed on, I was like, why am I crying to an Adam Sandler song? I felt embarrassed. And then Mikey was like, who knew he could make us move that much?
Oh, yeah, man. You know, string guitar does that too. I think the strings just pull on your heartstrings, you know? He's playing to your heartstrings.
Well, I mean, it was a tribute. Like last year when they had the tribute to JoJo at Metro, I think because they had cancer, they'd planned some of the music to play, but JoJo did the like, I'm gonna make you cry song. Started talking, and then the DJ put on the Kermit Rainbow song.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Rainbow Connection.
Yeah,
Rainbow
like-
Connection. I
that
love
one
that
just
song
makes
too.
everyone cry.
and then we were at a wake at the Metro, so because the whole art scene in Chicago knew who JoJo, so like we all were like, oh god, and then everyone just started crying. You could literally hear the groan of like, oh god, you're gonna make us cry, and then everyone cried.
Well, at the memorial we went to last year, he played the song "The Dance" by Garth Brooks. Always makes me cry, which it's like recognizing a failed relationship and how bad things hurt. But you know, if it hadn't happened, you would have missed the dance. And
Yeah.
so I'm crying there. He's like, and now we're going to have Thomas represent.
Yeah.
I had to promptly go on
And do
in
an
front
open-
and like do the memorial.
Do the whole,
service.
actually, yeah, you were the person speaking at the memorial service unexpectedly.
Well, I knew he wanted me to speak. I just didn't know he would make me cry about it. And we did good. It was a good 45 minutes, hour of crowd talk of let's talk about the person who passed away.
I didn't even know the person, and I teared up a little bit.
So I wish I had seen the Hacks episode because the comedian Hacks, played by Jean Smart, she ends up visiting her assistant's father's funeral, and then she's like, okay, no, we're not going to sit here and quiet, and y'all messed up everything to bring it up because now everyone's embarrassed, and then they're embarrassed. Okay, when do you see her father drunk? And got people talking and laughing, and that was really good. So
Yeah.
I'll make a mental note next time. But yeah, like remembering SNL cast members, like I'm still horrified about like Phil Hartman and just,
Oh, yeah, man.
just a talent lost. And I think it was really one of those, like his wife was cheating on him and so she killed him. Like it's like he didn't do
Right.
anything wrong.
Yeah, right. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like, you know, the big ones, big comedian ones, and when they recall him and everything, especially his wife, the intro for SNL when he was on it, that's her that's like sitting at the diner booth with him. And so if you notice her hair is like swaying or her earrings swaying or something, that's because every time they would call action, she would like try to turn her face to the camera.
Oh, she tried to do the I Love Lucy. I want
to try to get on camera, to get her face on camera, and they didn't want that, and so they would have to like call or try to play, you know, kind of trick on her or whatever.
Yeah.
And man, Phil Hartman,
really
yeah.
horrible. And Phil Hartman, especially with The Simpsons and SNL, they all
Oh my
recognize
God, yeah.
that, like whenever
John McClure
Troy McClure
or Troy McClure,
you
yeah,
might
Troy.
remember me from such. And whenever they ran into a rut or like how do we make this work, they would suddenly throw in Phil Hartman and he'd fix it. He would fix the scene. He would fix the skit.
Oh,
he
yeah.
could, and even if the skit was bad, he could still be good enough to pull it together that you didn't hate watching it.
No, yeah, right.
And,
And that voice was great too.
So yeah,
He was on
that
Pee Wee's
good.
Playhouse.
Yeah, he was Jumanji, right?
The mailman, I believe.
Make a hidey ho.
I thought he was the mailman.
Oh, he might have been the mailman. I don't know. It's worth visiting. Now,
You might have been right though. I wasn't a huge fan of the show. I just know he was on it.
Now, as we're talking about removing things, apparently Trump has like a whole list of words to remove. Native Americans on it. I was surprised. Gay, LGBTQ, breastfeeding. And since he removed the gays, that caused pictures of the Enola Gay to be removed from all government sites. It's like,
Wait, Native Americans part on it?
oh yeah, Native Americans is part of the banned words.
I will say though, that is touching U.S. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch's. He does not touch Native American rights. He is actually like a weirdly weird defender of Native American rights. Like the reason that Oklahoma had to declare all of the Native reservations as still existing because he said we never ended these treaties. That still exists. So yeah,
good.
Most of Oklahoma is actually native land now because of him putting Native Americans in stuff that's going to the Supreme Court, they're going to piss off Gorsuch. Like,
fingers crossed.
No, really, no. Like every single time, if it is pro Native American, he will rule for whatever is the pro Native American side.
Well, they can't really.
I don't know why.
Titles. I mean, the Sears Tower is still the Sears Tower. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but this is. I mean, this is like the U.S. government made a treaty with those people. It's like we didn't. You're supposed to rescind those. You can't just say it's gone.
Right, but if it's official or whatever, like the people themselves don't have to necessarily listen. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's the Gulf of Mexico is always going to be the Gulf of Mexico.
Exactly, Sears Tower is always going to be Sears Tower.
Gulf
Yeah.
of America.
These are kind of different topics, though. They're not the same.
No, they're definitely not. I agree.
And Trump was so nice that he, after the meeting with Zelensky, U.S. will no longer provide intel or aid to the Ukraine.
Actually, that changed. We do now again.
Oh.
Sometime last
So it's
week.
like the tariffs. It's all flip and flop.
Yeah.
Now, is the ceasefire happening or?
No, because
Putin wanted something.
when Russia takes its troops out of Ukraine, everything will end, and until that happens, there is no ceasefire. And the Zelensky and the Ukrainians are pretty adamant about that, and they don't really care what other people are saying. It's like, yeah, that's not.
We'll go down fighting, but we will keep fighting.
Yeah, there's no ceasefire.
And Zelensky had a very valid point that in the 1990s and the 2010s, like Russia said, "Oh, we won't attack," and then they broke those treaties and attacked. He's like, "Why am I going to sign this knowing full well they'll continue?" It's
in my lifetime, this is only the second time in my lifetime that Ukraine has been relevant on TV. The second time was Seinfeld.
What episode was that?
When Kramer's playing Risk with Newman. And they're playing the subway. They're playing on the subway. And he's like, Newman's like, well, I still have Ukraine. And Kramer's like making fun of Ukraine. He's like, you know what the
They're useless.
is? They're weak. They're useless. And then there's actually a guy from the Ukraine. He's like, Ukraine's not weak. And like he smashes the board.
Destroys the game.
I hate that I didn't get to say goodbye to her, but the office cleaning lady, her name was Irina, and she was from Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter still lived there and helping out. And it's like they're very strong, proud people.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those, like, a lot of bad things happen to us. It's
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
6:30.
Okay, it's 6:30. So we're going through our Rolling Stones greatest singers of all time. We're up to Joe Strummer. And in case that name doesn't fall off your tongue, he is the lead singer of The Clash. So Joe Strummer's number 125. Oh, we've gone through almost 75 now, Mikey.
Yay.
Best singers of all time. And in 1982, The Clash had their biggest hit, got to number 8 on Billboard. I remember the video as a kid. Rock the Casbah by The Clash.
Never swear, they began to
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
And that was The Clash with Joe Strummer, lead singer, Rolling Stones number 125, best singer of all time, with their biggest hit in 1982, Rock the Casbah, got to number 8 on Billboard. Okay, I have to ask a question, like, is this punk rock? Because there's a lot of piano and drum. I'm not sure this is punk rock. I think it's 80s New Wave.
Yeah, it's more New Wave.
80s New Wave.
Well, New Wave was an offshoot of punk, so.
Yeah. Punk and disco kind of merged, and that became New Wave. The King Told the Boogeyman. The song has a strong political message, but similar to like 99 Luftballons, it's done in such a pop gloss, it takes you a while to realize, like, oh, there's some stuff going on here. It's it wasn't Madonna's Papa Don't Preach to bang you in the head. Like, no, there's a subtle message going on. I'm giving the song a yay. However, for Joe Strummer being Rolling Stone number 125 best singer of all time, he has a shout growl. He's missing notes. It's almost one of those, like, I might need to sing this next time I do karaoke and not even try. Like, why bother? Is it my range?
Yeah.
I think I have more of an R&B pop sound, but I'm giving a yay to the song. I'm giving a huge question mark to him being one of the best singers, especially when you realize Celine Dion, Judy Garland, Cher didn't make the list. Madonna didn't make the list, but as we're going deeper into the list, I'm like, why didn't she? Because at least her music had a point, has a point. Anyway, Mikey Chip, yay, nay, meh.
I have never liked The Clash. I always skip this song. I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm going to go meh. Because I never listened to it long enough that I form more of an opinion than meh. And it has a political message, but at the same time, a political message delivered in 1982 that, I don't know, a little problematic. I don't know. I got questions. So I'll just say meh.
Now, I did give you options. There was, like, Radio Clash, which I think is a little bit more funkier, but you're like, no, we'll just do Rock the Casbah.
I don't like The Clash, so I'm not, like, no this is probably the most positive you're going to get out of me on this one.
Now, my older brother, way back when I was -4, and we'd watch this video on MTV, or I think it was HBO music videos. He pointed out, like, the 3 guys shown in the video, they all have a gap in my front teeth, and sadly, my older brother's not with us to realize how big the gap in my front teeth became. Hurricane Chris, yay, nay, meh.
So I'll give the song a meh, but in general, I want to say nay, because for my whole life, I thought it was Rock the Cash Bar. And I was like, so taken back when I saw the spelling is Casbah. I don't know what a Casbah is. It sounds like a lighter.
It's a
or a brand of
it's a
TV that I might buy at Best Buy.
It's a plaza.
It's a commentary on the world in
Plaza.
Middle East.
It's
and
like
Ayatollah Khomeini. And
yeah, it's like Daily Plaza. So it's just a plaza.
The video made me a little uncomfortable.
The whole I thought it was Sharif.
It was questionable.
Not
No, it's
Sharif. Which just changed also, which is why I'm like probably
the Arabic dancing with the Hasidic Jewish man. There's a social commentary here that
they are really British. They are really white British. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But yeah, I thought it was Rock the Cash Bar for my whole life, and every time I went to a wedding, I would be like, "Rock the Cash Bar," And I'm not gonna sing the whole song, but
yeah, no, we're good. We just heard it.
I brought a debit, they don't like it. Boom, boom, boom. Rock the cash bar, walk the cash bar. Visa, they don't like it. Boom, 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 boom. Rock the cash bar, cock the cash bar. I'm sorry. I've had to punish Mikey today because we listened to that song "Unholy" by
Sam
Smith, and so I was like, Mikey did his laundry last week.
No, you're not doing
His undies hold him neat. He got them clean. They're no longer unholy.
Anywho,
so I don't know what else.
I mean, I just
did the government shut down? Did they pass the bill?
Yeah, it passed.
They're taking a lot of my coworkers from work.
They're doing the mass deportations.
Yeah,
are they actually showing up and taking people away? Or
that's real, man. My and this is the thing that I have the issue with is that okay, they're here illegally. I get that. But they're doing things like me and you Americans that were born here are doing. They're not doing anything different. So to say they're not paying their taxes and stuff, they have Xfinity cable at their house. You know what I'm saying? They're living like how we live. They're not living a third world type of living in our country. They're our next door neighbors. And my aunt had, mother, she's a teacher, I'm sorry, but another teacher get deported and that had kids that were born here. So it's an issue.
It's a big issue, and my Dutch aunt, she was the oldest of 8. She passed away this week, and I haven't brought it up, but a lot of her childhood was spent in the camps. We were born in Amsterdam. She was sent to the camps in Indonesia because they only went back 2 generations to look for Jewish people, and we stopped being Jewish 3 generations back, or else we would have been sent to the murder camps, and we wouldn't be here. What people don't know is this happens. People are taken from their homes. They're sent somewhere. And I'm scared to learn that that's happening, and you're being aware of it. I'm led to believe you are of Latin descent of some sort.
Yeah.
And you're witnessing it.
Waukegan's a heavy Hispanic town. And there's ICE at Ross. You know what I'm saying? There's...
you don't go out that much, but there's...
No, I stay home.
Because of where we live, there's a lot fewer people walking around. It's noticeable.
And this country did it before in 1954 with President Truman, Eisenhower. They did, and it was so classy. It was called Operation Wetback, where they literally went to neighborhoods, took Latin people who they felt were illegally here, and then dumped them in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And some of them weren't from Mexico. And what people don't realize is some of the people they took were just of Latin descent. They were actually U.S. citizens.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate to say it, I used to like him, but he's a Puerto Rican descent, and he's like, oh, we're safe. It was like, you're on the list, dude.
Yeah. Even though I'm a safe Mexican, was I like to call myself?
A person you knew, you're forgetting to add words. A person you knew said that.
A person I knew said that. It's like, you're on the list. It's...
I still care about people of my culture and people that I share heritage with. It was weird. It was as though Thanos snapped his finger. Half of my warehouse was gone.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they're literally taking in government offices, all of the black officers off the walls, pictures off the walls, fired the Joint Chiefs of Staff because he was a black man. I've been a number of folks I know have been calling this the resegregation.
It's happening, and it's worth pointing out that what's going on with in your life, Hurricane Chris, and what Mikey Chip's witnessing is not being reported. We're now back and forths on tariffs.
Oh, it's being reported. This is just not in American media. You actually need to.
Oh, okay.
Avoid
MSN.
Like, if you want to get actual news at this point, you need to read the BBC.
Okay.
Or Canadian news is covering it like crazy.
Oh man,
like the CBC, like you can get everything because they actually know Americans, so they're taking a very different.
You guys might know the answer to this. Did Canada like threaten with us with war?
They didn't threaten war. What happened is Trump threatened tariffs, and then Canada actually provides a lot of electricity
to the states of Michigan, New York, and Minnesota.
And they're like, if you give us tariffs, we'll have to give tariffs on our electricity, and we'll have to charge 25%, and then Trump began crying like, why would you do that to innocent people? Why would you? It's like, dude, do you not know what you are doing? And then Trump, I guess,
the president of the United States is telling a nation that they need to be part of us, not as a joke.
Yeah,
no, right.
Like, what's the whole? Oh yeah, Greenland had their election, and Greenland's like, no, we're not going to come
Greenland's
to you.
not.
Okay.
No, Greenland was never going to.
I thought I saw something like Canada was like, we don't want to start this war. You don't want this.
Well,
and I'm like, well, Canada,
I'm actually going to tell you, you really do have to be careful of misinformation out there. There is so much.
No, right. It's scary what AI is right now too. Like,
that's honestly why, I get my news from the BBC because
shout out BBC.
At least it's not an American perspective, so they can be a little bit colder, and separate in what they're actually and just tell you what's
unbiased.
Actually going on. Yeah, they're not involved in beyond don't bomb us. But anyway, it's 6:45.
All right. In my weird music listening, I pulled out a Josephine Baker collection I had purchased, I think, also at that great Louisiana Music Factory in New Orleans.
On Frenchman Street.
Highly recommend going to there. This recording either happened in 1929 or 1933. I wish the collection had dates. But we've got Josephine Baker with My Fate Is in Your Hands.
Wanting you is my offense. You have all the evidence. Now I wait for you to sentence me. Must I go or must I stay? Will my skies be blue or gray? Are my dreams to be or not to be? There's no use pretending. Love needs no one defending. What is the verdict? My fate is in your hands. You're my judge and jury. What do you assure me? What is the verdict? My fate is in your hands. If the charge is loving you, then I'm guilty, dear. Tell me that you love me too, and I'll have no fear. It is you are needing, for your love I'm pleading. What is the verdict? My fate is in your hands. Do 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 do.
You are listening to Bottoms of the Barrel live on Que4 Radio. Bottoms of the Barrel airs live every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 1680, Q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search for Que4 Radio.
And that is My Fate is in Your Hands by Josephine Baker off of my, oh God, Mike, your French is better than mine. J'ai du amour.
J'ai du amour, mon pays et Paris. My two loves, my home and Paris.
My Home in Paris. Josephine Baker, that was recorded in 1929, 1933 is best guess. It obviously has the older sound, time, quality, and production. The type of singing was usually done by white women. A lot of black women sang more of the blues kind of singing back then, but... Will my sky be blue or gray? I like that. I have to admit, I'm giving the song a yay, but the song is also more enjoyable when I'm not listening to the rest of the CD. One of the things they said about Josephine Baker, while she definitely was beautiful, she could dance, a lot of the dancing just weren't bananas. She became the toast of France. She eventually learned to sing and become a performer in her later years. A lot of the other tracks on this is like, ooh. Mikey Chip we've had moments it's like oh.
Can't say that.
But she was also heavily involved in the U.S. civil rights movement in the 1960s and 70s, where she appeared, and again, she's an international star, and she said, I've been greeted by kings and queens, leaders of nations, but I couldn't come up to a counter in the United States to ask for a cup of coffee. And when Martin Luther King Jr. Passed away, Dr. Martin Luther King, she was asked to take over the civil rights movement, but she chose no, and she actually passed away in 1975. So we don't know how long that was going to be. So the song's a yay. If you can see anything about Josephine Baker or exploring her history, I highly, highly recommend it. Mikey Chip, yeah, nay, meh.
I mean, I'm not going to dislike the song.
It's from 1929-33.
But I will say we should check out. Did they develop Betty Boop on her? Because
Betty Boop was developed based on another performer who had the spit curl hair kind of thing. It was almost like blatant, and that performer was actually mixed also, like Josephine.
Well,
Baker.
yeah, I mean, they whitewashed her. I knew that much, but it was just like,
but yeah,
that sounds like Betty Boop.
There was a performer that looked like Betty Boop, and they basically stole her look, but made her white instead of mixed. Josephine Baker was proudly black, but she was actually mixed too, from East St. Louis. All right, Hurricane Chris, judge a song created long before you were born.
Before your grandparents were born.
Before my grandma was throwing her panties on the stage.
There's not much judgments here.
No, even my live chat says nay on that one.
Oh, they don't like it.
No, the chat didn't like that one. I'm going to have to agree that was a nay with me. I don't know.
Old people music.
It was not that. It's just I could hear the oppression through the background music. You know, it's just not even what she was saying or her lyrics. It's just like the old-timey music back then. I could just hear the oppression. I could just hear the white privilege, you know, just I could just hear all that.
She had it good in France. She did not have it good in the United States.
But she also had it good in France because she was an American. If she was French African, she wouldn't have it good.
She wouldn't have had it good. Yeah, her big break was like the African negress. And some people would openly refer to her as like dorky. And
so she was you're saying she was a mixed from that picture?
Well, that's Madonna on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Josephine Baker, born in East St. Louis. I think her parents were, one was a slave owner, one was the slave. And she.
Can I see that?
Yeah. So she herself is mixed. turned out very beautiful. There were riots in East St. Louis, which is white people went on strike, so the company called up the black people looking for work in the lower South. They came up, they had a job, strike was over, black people were promptly fired, riots broke out, and the cops opened fire and burned the black people.
You know what? Then I'm going to switch my answer to yay. Give the sister a yay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And
because I like that, but no, honestly, I wouldn't put that on at a party or
no.
Even at a car ride by myself, I wouldn't have put that on.
She was a big hit in France. She actually was a spy for France during World War II, and she has the highest military award that you can give a foreigner.
Well, you're just laying the guilt on me. Okay, so I'll give her a big
I'm
yay.
scared that you don't know who Josephine Baker is. All right.
I didn't know until today.
Hurricane Chris showing why he deserved remedial class.
Exactly. Give me a break.
You got shows coming up, and how can people find you?
You just taught me the way I needed to be taught. Like, you know.
Amen. I stand by my opinion.
No, yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sitting down right now, but we continue.
Moving on.
April 4th, Kill Tony. April 19th, PML Theater in Antioch, opening for WGCI's Leon Rogers. In May, I'm doing I'm judging the Throwdown the Gauntlet at O'Donnell's, and in October 3rd, I believe, I'll be in Milwaukee.
All right, and you have websites.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Tortapapi, TORTAPAPI. On TikTok, Hurricane Chris Comedy, and YouTube, Hurricane Chris Comedy as well.
And on to the apologies.
You're overstating, pontificating the meaning of your life, my friend. I tell you one thing, but not for nothing. We're all waiting for the world end.
This has been Bottoms of the Barrel on Que4 Radio, AM 680, Q4.org. I've been your host, Thomas Bottoms. We have a website, Bottoms with an S, bottomsofthebarrel.com. And if you click here, you'll see our videos on YouTube. We've been joined by birthday boy Mikey Chip, who I sang, it wasn't a cappella, it was anal appella. Version of Happy Birthday to You, and then Mikey said no more Taco Bell. We were joined by Hurricane Crest as our guest. Thank you for coming all the way from Waukegan.
Thank you for having me.
This episode, we listened to The Tattooed Lady and the Alligator Man by Marsha Ball. We all give it a yay. One gave it a little bit of a yay minus. We then followed it by One Piece at a Time by Johnny Cash. We all loved it, yay. We followed it by Goldie Boutier, Pretending. We all loved it. And then we did our cover wars. Exile versus Millie Jackson. Kiss You All Over. We all liked the Exile, but two Ruru liked it. One Ruru liked Millie Jackson, one liked Millie Jackson, one said man. Rock the Casbah. Yay, man, and a man minus. And then Josephine Baker, someone had to learn a little bit of history, and we all liked her. We want to apologize for doing heroin in the John versus being a superheroine doing a John in the John. We apologize for a Princess Tiara by Dollar Tree. Like they would afford real diamonds. Marilyn Monroe, oh, I just love new places to wear diamonds. We apologize for flying Southwest or Spirit. If the flight attendants are ugly, don't go. We apologize for rocket science, because Elon should know, but he doesn't. And he doesn't want that liberal money, and conservatives don't buy electric cars. We apologize for super seniors, not old people about to turn against Trump because their Social Security checks get cut and the VA gets cut. He was in the remedial class, and apparently he was so dumb he didn't realize that was for the slower kids. The 60s were over. They stopped sending the black kids there. We apologize for, is him any good? I still haven't listened to a hymn song. And oddly enough, the one who recommended him to me was one of the guys doing heroin in the job. We apologize for Jeffrey Dahmer. My baloney has a first name. We apologize for... I see you on the junk again. Come on, people. Can't they just scrub like Donald Trump's face and like get him lesser stuff? And we apologize for 1979 bad disco. Because Millie Jackson caused the issue in McKinsey Park. And I blame you, Mikey Chip. I've been Thomas Bottoms, joined with Mikey Chip. We have a website, bottomsofthebarrel.com. joined by Hurricane Chris. We will be back next week. And next time you leave your house, be a decent person. Bye.